Alright, so today we're going to be gutting this American 1305 lock, and then we're going to make it into a 3-pin lock because I'm working on building a progressive set of Americans. So we'll take a couple of pins out of this. So 5-pin now, let's open it up. Key, so that works. Got a Phillips retaining screw, so we'll take that out. Okay, retaining screw, got the face plate, shield, bolt out. Let's remove the core of the lock. We just got the housing now. Oh, we can see here this is one of the wafers to prevent bypass tools from working in this, so keep that set aside. It's kind of greasy. In fact, this whole lock hasn't been opened up before. It's quite greasy. I'm going to remove a little bit of that just to make it a little easier to get this C-clip off. Okay, and then we've got the gut wrench tool, which will help us remove the C-clip. This is the American style, so it's the smaller of the two. Got the smaller plug size. It's generally smaller everything in these Americans. Come on. See that C-clip starting to spring off there. Almost had it. There we go, got the C-clip off. Really appreciate this gut wrench tool to make that a little bit easier. All right, let's go ahead and rotate it with the key here. All right, now we're going to want a plug follower. So we're going to retain the driver pins and the springs in the Bible. We're going to keep the key pins in the plug as we pull it out. Now, these Americans are a little weird. I don't have a super great plug follower. I've got this Sparrows one, but it doesn't quite line up. If I go this side, I might run into some problems. I do have this master one, which is the right size. Mine's a little bit better. Let's give that a try. It does have this flat edge though. I don't want the springs to get caught up on that, so we'll do it kind of at an angle here. If we rotate the full way, we can actually see the key pins. We could just dump those here, but since I want to see what the driver pins look like and I want to take a couple out to make it progressive, we'll just take the whole thing out. So slide this in. Try to get it lined up. That mostly worked. Got caught up partway through though. Really wish I had a better follower for these guys. All right. Well, I'm just gonna dump those out. There's one of the drivers that went flying. Set that aside. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my plug in this plug holder here. We'll deal with that in a second. Let's deal with the drivers and the springs first. So yeah, our plug follower didn't work super great there. That's okay. We'll dump these out. Don't exactly know the order anymore. That's okay. Let's see what we had inside here. Got one more spring that the grease is really just making that sticky. Come on. There we go. All right. So we've got our 5 springs. We've got our 5 drivers. In the drivers, we can see that there was 3 spooled drivers. And 2 serrated drivers. And the spools actually have serrations on them as well. Wow, this grease is really on everything. All right. Dropping our springs here. And again, we only need 3 of these now because I'm going to make this progressive. So there we go. Now we don't want to do all spool in the progressive set because if you don't have any just serrated or standard drivers, the plug will wiggle around a little bit, hitting the notches of those spools. So we'll do 1 serrated and 2 spooled drivers for the progressive set, and we'll set aside these other 2 pins. Let's take our plug. We can see they've actually color-coded the pins here, so let's dump those out. We're going to get rid of the last 2, so I don't need pin number 5. Come on. Grease is killing me. Also don't need pin number 4. I can grab that now pretty easily with these pinning tweezers. Huh, maybe not. Wow, okay. There we go. We got pin number 5. It's just a standard key pin, really short. Pin 4 was a serrated key pin, fairly long. All right, now we got pins 1, 2, and 3, which is the 3 we want to build our progressive lock here. So let's grab pin number 1, standard pin, again really short, stick that there. Pin number 2, a little bit longer, and it does have 2 serrations on it. And pin number 3, a little longer still, and also 2 serrations. Okay, so there we go. We've got our plug, we've got our key, everything is totally disassembled. Awesome. And we're not going to use that spring. Let's set that aside. We're not going to use that spring. Put him aside. Okay, so let's go ahead and repopulate our plug. So we're just going to put this back in the same order we pulled it out in. Pin 1. That up front. Oh my goodness, this grease. It's funny, you'd think grease would make things slippery, but it's really making them kind of sticky. Okay, 1 and 2. And 3. All right, and then we'll just check again with our key, make sure that we've done that right. It should, yep, be nice and flush right at the top of the plug there. So we're good, we got this in the right order. Take our key back out for now, stick this back in our plug holder. All right, and then we need to pin up our Bible. And there's this notch here, that's the front where the pin number 1 goes. So we're going to put 3 springs back in positions 1, 2, and 3. Don't drop them, which of course we're going to do because this pinning tweezer is made for the slightly larger size of springs. Let's use our other pinning tweezers here. There we go. All right, so now we've got 3 springs in there. Let's grab our plug follower. And we're going to stick in driver. We're going to use our plug follower to keep that one in place. Let's do our second driver. Put that one in there. We'll go for our third driver, another spool. I'm just kind of trapping the pin with the plug follower to put some pressure on it, keep it there as I push down with my tweezers to get it flush, and then push the follower over it. There we go. Now we've got 3 drivers, 3 springs right in there. So that's good. And now what I need to do is grab my plug, and let's see here. We're going to want to, again, this plug follower just doesn't have the right cut on the end there. So I'm Got to figure out here, we want to slide this in. We don't want the driver pins getting trapped up in the bottom of this, so we kind of want to angle it to the side here. I'm going to use this side, so we're going to run along that edge, and hopefully we'll get this in smoothly. And the end of these plugs are a little funny shape for the C-clip, so we kind of have to dodge a little bit. There we go. Got it in. Now we can rotate it locked. It's in place. Let's try it with the key, make sure things are still good. There we go. The key is working just fine. Pull the key up, but leave the plug in. And now we need to put our C-clip back on. There we go. Feels like it's snug, but we'll just give it an extra little push there with the gut wrench. Drop our anti-bypass tool wafer back on. And now we should be good to put it back into the housing. So we'll drop this there like so. And we'll grab the plate, stick that on. Retaining bolt, retaining screw. Goes in, grab our screwdriver. Tighten that back up. All right, that's nice and tight. Let's just try with the key. It's still unlocked, so we can still get at it. Things feel all right, so let's go ahead and lock it. Okay, and moment of truth, does it still open with the key? Yes, it does. And since this is progressive, I've printed out a nice little label now that says 3-pin. So we'll go ahead and label it so we know we're putting this out. Beginners at our meetup, you know how many pins they've got right off the bat. They don't have to count. So there we go. Now have our 3-pin American 1305. Thanks for watching.